in the post-Spanish American world, the United States was trying to figure out what to do with the Philippine Islands that they had taken from the Spanish. Now, McKinley and the other pro-imperialists had specifically targeted the Philippines during the Spanish-American War, not just to end the war quickly, but because they wanted to acquire it to get on their way to the Asian markets. Remember that the big three reasons for imperialism were new marketplaces, like the Asian marketplace. China had a big population. Raw materials, like in Hawaii, they had a lot of sugar, so they just took those islands. And then to Christianize. And we can see all of that wrapped together when they're trying to debate what to do with the Philippine Islands. A Reverend Joseph Strong decided that he was going to give a sermon where he said it was not only something that the government could do, but it was a Christian duty and an economic opportunity, combining Christianity and the economics together to expand the Anglo-Saxon influence on non-white worlds. And when you see Anglo-Saxon, that is code word for white, right? White Europeans, especially white European men. So he's talking about white supremacy here. This is social Darwinism. He's talking about not Christianity, but this idea that the white population can go out and take over these non-white populations, and he's got the backing of the church behind it now. Now, McKinley, as president, he needs to decide what to do. It's going to be his policy that gets put in place. And he comes up with four arguments, basically. First, he says, we are going to take over the Philippine Islands because it's pro-business. We are supporting business. Business is expanding. Remember, this is towards the tail end of the Gilded Age. Pro-business. Number two, he says it would be dishonorable for the United States to take over this territory and not govern it. That he says that as Filipinos, they are not white and therefore they're not able to govern themselves. He says that they're basically savages. Teddy Roosevelt, by the way, Teddy Roosevelt is going to support this concept. Teddy Roosevelt's going to become his vice president in the 1900 election. Teddy Roosevelt said that there must be strict discipline upon them, that they must, that they were wild beasts and there must be control. This is going to give you a little preview about what his foreign policy is going to be. Also, it's going to be social Darwinism, right? That we just can. So the United States should because they can. And lastly, he's arguing that there should be a spread of Christianity into these non-Christian territories. So the pro-imperial arguments basically laid out here by McKinley. Now, there is a sizable anti-imperialist argument or reasons why the Philippines should not be taken over. And this is going to spread to places like Puerto Rico and Guam and Cuba as well. But this anti-imperialist argument is arguing against this. Well, number one, it's violating the core American principle of self-government, right? Didn't the Declaration of Independence say that the people have the right to give their consent to be governed? By taking them over, we're not allowing the people to have their say because the Filipinos clearly have stated that they don't want the United States there. There's also a racist anti-argument, which is that, well, if they're savages and we let them come into the United States, then the savages would ruin the United States government, so therefore they shouldn't be allowed in either. We'll get to all those in due time.